Hey everybody, Steve here. Today I'm going to be doing a little behind the scenes work on creating a new workflow in MindPal. And the situation I've got is I'm working with a client and she is launching a new challenge called the 21-day sleep challenge. And each day there's going to be a video that gets distributed out to her list. And with that video, there's a bunch of other details that need to be produced in terms of content. So we're going to distribute these videos on YouTube. We're going to send an email out to the list. We've got an entire opt-in sequence. So when somebody wants to join the challenge, they can do it anytime. And each day they'll get a newsletter in their inbox, leading them to a link where they can find the video on YouTube to watch it. And there's also some other assets that go with that. So what I'm doing today is building out the initial workflow for creating all of these assets. And I've made a quick list of what that looks like. And it is basically like this list here. And I'm going to use MindPal to create the workflow using our AI tool. And the one thing that I start out with in this entire process is the transcript from the initial video. So I'm going to go ahead and write a few things about creating this workflow, and we'll see how well it goes from scratch. Okay, so what I've got here is basically a quick introduction of the project. I don't know how much MindPal needs to know about the project, but it does need to know about all of the things that I'm going to do. So there's a lot of different steps in this workflow, and let's see how it goes. And one thing I did not tell MindPal is I'm going to drop in a transcript. We'll see how well I can correct that. The transcript is the first step in the entire process. It's still going. It's got 9 agents. And I'm going to try it one more time just to give it the following, add in a bit about the transcript. Okay, so now I've told it to use the transcript as a starting point, and that should change everything. So yep, now we got on step 0, we got a manual step here, the video transcript. It's going to generate the video titles. I told it I want to choose the best title, so that's another manual step. YouTube video description, keywords for YouTube, video thumbnail caption, the email, and then a LinkedIn post. And then you'll see this. I added this in. It may not be obvious from when I was showing my text file earlier, but when I found that when I do social posts, I like to write a draft version first and then have another agent that is basically the higher level editor, proofreader, and that agent will finalize a draft post to align with the brand voice. So I do that both for LinkedIn and for Facebook. And I find that when I do that, the quality of the post improves. So you'll see that I've got the draft LinkedIn post and I got the final copywriter, same for Facebook as well. So I'll go ahead and create this. Now, the beauty of this is that I've got the workflow created directly from AI. I didn't have to go point and click and point and click. So that just already saved me a ton of time just for building this out. And you can see that all the steps are there based off of my very short description and copying and pasting all the steps I wanted from Notepad. So this is something that's really quick. And now I can go into each of these steps and I can then modify the agent as needed. You'll see that the MindPal created a agent for me called the YouTube video title generator. Now, if I go into this, it's got all the background detail already created, and then it's got the output format, and I can go in and I can add in things about the language model that I want to use. So I can choose which one I want. And I'll do that in a little bit. The other thing I can do is I can now add a knowledge source. And this is important because for this client, I have some brand voices and other examples that is going to be helpful. So for example, I have podcast title examples. These are assets that I will add to the agents as I go through and fine tune this. But what I wanted to make for this video right now is just build out the initial workflow, and then we're just going to test it without any fine tuning. So let's go ahead and do a new run. And I don't expect this to be perfect. I just expect it to be somewhat close. I have for our initial launch of the project, I have our first video. It's the introduction video to the sleep challenge. So I'm going to paste in this transcript right there. It's a very short video. It's only a couple minutes long, talking about why should you do the sleep challenge, what's involved, what you can get out of it, and so on. Already I'm seeing that this is probably going to work pretty well, even without any fine tuning of the agents with respect and knowing about the brand. But I expect it's not going to do as good job when we get down to creating the email newsletter and the social post. So those agents, I will need to add the knowledge about the brand voice and the context of the brand so it knows how to talk about it. I'm just going to pick a title. Looks somewhat good, so we'll choose that one. It looks to be working on this one. Wonder how this one is configured, actually. I wonder if it's trying to continue. Okay, we'll let this run for a second. Yeah, I'm just impatient now. I'm going to refresh this and see what it does. I may have to start this one over. No, it's still waiting. Okay. Well, that's doing that. Let's actually just start this new run over again. I want to actually see what this, choose the best title. Select. Oh, it wants me to select it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to just text, and then I can copy and paste. I see what it's doing. It's trying to get me to select one by clicking on it. So I think this will work a little bit better. So let's go ahead and I'll grab the transcript again. So this is what I wanted. I want, just like I'm pasting in the transcript here, I wanted the manual input of selecting the title. And the reason I like that option better is sometimes I don't like all the titles that it generates, and I may want to take a combination of 2 or 3 titles and be able to write something out. So that's why I like the text input. Let's see which one. Okay, I like the last one. And what it doesn't know, it doesn't really understand the context of the challenge. It's not just about getting better sleep. This is really about if you're in some type of crisis. And specifically with this client, we're talking about people who have loved ones in their lives battling substance abuse, and it affects the entire family. And one of the foundational things that you can do is help get better sleep for yourself, so you are prepared to handle all of the craziness that happens with this and take care of yourself first. And you can move from that crisis towards a thriving mindset despite the challenges. So this title that I'm putting in here is the closest to that. But when I add the context of this brand and what we're doing, we'll get better titles. And this is exactly why I want to be able to choose a good title. So now that I've got one, I'll go ahead and hit continue. It's going to go to the next step. It's going to write a video description for YouTube. And I didn't give it any guidance on what it should look like. So it's not bad at all. And I know I didn't even define which language model. So I know by default, it's using OpenAI's 01 Mini, which is the low cost one. You can see that we're using 1 credit per request. When I change it, some of these will use some of the more advanced models, but still pretty good. And now I got YouTube keywords for YouTube. I'm going to change this prompt because I want these keywords to be produced in a single line separated by comma. And that makes it easy for me to copy and paste into what I'm doing next. So I don't want it all of these lines like that. So that's another one I'll edit. It gave me 1 thumbnail caption, so I'll probably edit this one as well so I can choose from ones I like, but this is good enough for the example. All right, so now we got the email that's going to go out each day to whoever signs up for this. And I know right away, this is the worst way to start an email, but we'll fix all this. It's got a decent email. It's written in the 3rd person, so we'll fix all that tone of voice stuff. I got a social post, and let's see just if it doesn't know anything about the brand. This is version 1 of the social post. And then version 2 is to basically review it and write a better version of it. And it's too difficult to tell right now. It's probably the same, but, oh, okay, it added some small things. At least it tells me what it's doing for right now. So I'll fine tune this. And this one specifically, because the job isn't to write a post, is to review the existing post and improve it. Here, I will make sure that I include the brand voice and the style guide as knowledge assets. And that's going to improve this and make sure that this output aligns with the brand itself, the tone of voice, the mannerisms, the type of words that we use for this brand. So it's basically going to take this and improve it so it sounds much better. And it'll still do the same for this Facebook one too. And there we go. But this works. And I really am happy with how this is working out. In just a few minutes, I went through from scratch and created a workflow. And in my next step, I'll do in a separate video, I'm going to go in and I will fine tune all of these agents and we'll be able to see how it improves. If you haven't tried MindPal yet, I hope this is useful for you. It shows just how easy it is to create multi-step workflows that produce all of the content around a project. And imagine what this could do for you in any of your projects. This is just for creating a YouTube video set around a challenge. You can apply this for campaigns. You can apply this for operations. There's so many ways to use MindPal. And just think about if you had an agent for each step in your operational workflows, and you can fine tune that, you can save a ton of time. So this video is under 15 minutes, and this is just a really easy way to get a handle on something that I'm going to be doing repeatedly for the next 21 days. All right. Hope this is useful. See you in the next video.